Hey everyone, how you doing this evening, this morning, or whatever time of the day is on whatever side of the United States that you are located. I am Tyrell Goodman, 16-year combat veteran of the United States Air Force. And I bet you didn't even know the one and only Antonio T. Smith is a highly decorated veteran that served in the United States Army. And during his time as he was serving in the military, he ended up developing a lot of different impairments that he suffers from. And so, because of that, he called upon me and needing some help and some assistance in regards to that situation for his out processing of the Army. Well, if anyone's understanding know Antonio, he's a very smart, intelligent person, and he still needed someone like myself to help him navigate through the process of the VA, of the rules and regulation that come about in filing a claim. In this video, I'm going to explain and teach you what is 5, 10, and 20 rule when it comes to the VA and what does it mean. All right, now let's get right into what do I mean by the 5, 10, and 20 rule in relations to your claim. Well, let's look at it. The 5-year rule, if you don't understand, let me put it in this way. If you have had the same rating for 5 or more years, the VA at that point cannot reduce your rating unless your condition has improved on a substantive basis and all your medical evidence, not just the reexamination report, but they must support the conclusion that your impairment has some form of improvement and is more than temporary. All right. So this is in regards to 5 years from your what they call your effective date. So whatever your effective date is of that particular impairment, that rule applies within that 5 years. Now, you may ask, what does the VA re-exam or re-examination for a VA claim or rating? Not all types of service-connected disabilities are permanent. So I want everyone to really understand that, because for this reason, the VA does reserve the right to re-examine any, and I'll repeat the word any, veteran whose condition is expected to improve over time. So the only exception to this rule of the VA is when the 5-year rules are when the veterans are protected by a permanent and total rating, or anyone else with a condition that's never expected to improve. So that's the only exception if you have a permanent total disability or a condition that is never to be expected to improve. So this is the only way and the only reason why they cannot and will not come back and re-examine you within that 5 years. So let me ask you this, and have you thought about this? When does the VA re-examination of a VA disability rating, when does this occur? When? Not why, but when. If you have a condition that's expected to improve over time, this is where when the VA will likely reevaluate your condition within the 2 to 5 years of your initial examination. And the VA may also reexamine your VA disability rating if there's obviously evidence that your conclusion has improved or your condition has improved or even disappeared. So this is when the VA does the re-examination in regards or relations to your VA disability rating. And the previous understanding for as a permanent total or a condition that's never expected to improve, that is the why does the VA re-examinate you within that 5-year rule. Now, how does the VA re-examinate a VA disability rating? The VA will schedule an examination to determine if your VA rating is still appropriate for how much your service-connected disability affects your ability to function, as well as your quality of life. Now, it is vital important that you attend this appointment, or even if you or just reschedule it for a better time. But you cannot miss this appointment. Otherwise, the VA will have grounds to reduce or even terminate your VA disability benefits. It's highly encouraged just to reschedule. If you can't make the appointment, just reschedule it. And just because you receive the reexamination notice from the VA doesn't mean that you have to panic or lose control about losing your VA benefits. If your condition has remained the same, the VA will most likely find that your VA disability rating is still accurate, and it will not affect your VA disability overall rating to that condition. Now, the VA will schedule an examination to determine if your VA disability rating is still appropriate for how much your service connected disability is being affected your ability to function. So, in other words, they just basically going to see if your service connection has still an issue in your ability to function in a manner as being average and your quality of life. Okay. Now, it's very important that you understand that you must attend these appointments or reschedule these appointments, because otherwise, if you don't do this, what's going to end up happening is that the VA will have grounds to reduce your rating or terminate your VA disability. But I want you to also understand this part. Just because you received a reexamination notice from the VA does not allow you, and you shouldn't be panicking about losing your VA disability just because you received the notice. If your condition has remained the same, then the VA will most likely keep it the same of what you already have in current. Okay. In regards to the 10-year rule, the 10-year rule is after 10 years, the service connection is protected from being dropped. Now, what do we mean by being dropped? They cannot what? They cannot reduce it. None of that. You are protected. That's when you reach the 10-year rule from the effective date. Now, the 20-year rule from the effective date, if your disability has been continuously rated at or above a certain rating level for at least 20 or more years, the VA cannot reduce your rating unless it finds the rating was based on fraud. It only finds the rating if it's based on fraud. So if you're constantly at a rating and you reach the 20-year mark from the effective date or more, from 20 or more, then you are protected. Identify it as being fraud. And this is a very high standard, and it's unlikely the rating would be reduced. Now, the example is this. If you are 100% for 20 years, okay, and you automatically are permanent and total, and that after 20 years, the total disability, which is 100%, or individual unemployability, which is IU, is protected from the reduction for the remainder of the person's life. This is what we're talking about in regards to the 20-year rule. Now, within the 20-year rule, at the age of 55 being permanent total or a few other reasons, all right, the Veteran Board of Appeal will not initiate a review. They will not do that. However, if the veteran files a new compensation claim for an increase, then it is you that initiate a possible review. So this is key. If you initiate a new compensation claim or file for an increase after the age of 55, then that's when you initiated a possible review over your impairments that they have already rated. So this is key that a lot of you all don't understand or didn't even know. So let me explain it in another fashion, okay? Take this like a note. Until a percentage is in a place for 10 years, the service connection cannot be removed. After that, the service connection is protected. So once you get 10 years from the effective date, your rating is protected. Example, say in 1998, you initiated a service connection and you're at 10%. And then the result from the service connection protected you in 2008. Now, 10% protected from the reduction in 2018 at 20 years. So they can't reduce you because your effective year or effective date is 1998. Okay. So now let's look at it in this way from the reduction at the 20 years. Okay. Now your service connection has increased to 30%. So you went from 10% to 30%. So now your 30% is protected from reduction in 2040, which is 20 years, right? And this is because your rating had increased. So each time your rating increased, now you added more years in regards to being to that point where it's protected and cannot be removed. So in the first example, 1998, 10%. You add 20 to that, 20 years to that, then you're at 2008. So that 10% is protected, but then you go back and you get an increase from 10% to 30%. Now, just because you get to an increase, now that because of that increase at 30%, it's protected from reduction, but it won't be protected from the 20 years of you getting that increase, which is the 2040. So this is how the VA operates in regards to your rating to reducing and all that based on the 5, the 10, and the 20-year rules. Okay. So I hope this video enlightens you and helped you out in regards to this. And if you want to understand what the regulation in regards to that is, the 38 CFR Part 4, Section 3.344 in regards to disability evaluation, please, you can reach me at tsfconsultantmgm@gmail.com or at 877-365-0817 extension 104. Thank you and see you in the next video.